I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
We are back for another installment of Heavy Muscle Radio Live. I am live actually from Stamford, Connecticut. I'm visiting my sister, and I'm here with the technician, Chris Aceto. Chris, how's my connection sound? All right?
Your connection sounds great. I think, is Stamford where the WWE's headquarters are?
It is, and matter of fact, I look out the window and I can see the WWE building, and I was going to go see Triple H this weekend, and I just... You know, when I travel, I overbook things. I make too many appointments with too many people, and I wind up seeing half of them. So,
yeah, and then the other half gets pissed because you can't honor your commitments.
That's right. But I did see a lot of people this weekend, and but you know, the WWE moved. There's a new, like, the old building is abandoned, from what I understand, and they have a new, like, huge two-building,
beautiful building. I'm talking the gorgeous one. That's the one I'm talking about when you drive.
Yeah, it's really nice. Yep, you can see it right off 95.
I think, Dave, if I'm not correct, I don't know if I'm right or not, but I believe it was like the old, like, Bear Stearns building or something, or, you know, Stamford is the home of a lot of financial services because it's close to Manhattan, and people can buy a building in Stamford and run it cheaper than, say, Manhattan. And so I think it was like Bear Stearns or, you know, some huge financial services company. So what a better, like, ego boost to say, yeah, we bought the building from, like, Morgan Stanley or whoever it came from.
I get this. The old building, which is all black, I kind of like the way it looks better. But this building is, I mean, it's like two buildings connected.
Dave, the old building says Rebel. The new building says Corporate Finance. That's exactly the feel, right?
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, you know, like I said, I'll probably, next time I come up here to see my sister, I'll try to schedule like a little visit with him. But you know, Sid had asked the question on RxMuscle's Instagram the other day, who would be more likely to compete, since we're in the new year now? We have to talk New Year stuff. Who would be more likely to compete this year, Big Ramy or KAI GREENE? Did you see that?
It's slam dunk for Big Ramy because he's competing for sure.
Right. Have you talked to him at all?
No, but when I mean, he said last year, like, post Arnold, I can't take the year off.
Right.
You know, I can't, which is very insightful because, you know, I think it's Jay has always said that, and I think Milos has always said, so those are two pretty respectable people. You take a year off and the drive just wilts. You know what I mean? It's really hard to do the comeback because, you know, that year off, you know, a lot of it is resting, doing other things, thinking about things. You know, you're not like Eye of the Tiger, Rocky Balboa, going to the gym every day like your life depends on it. And then also Jay said, you know, you lose that density.
Well, Jay actually commented on this thread. He said, "There's a better chance of me coming back for the 24 Mr. Olympia." That is the both of them. That was how I interpreted it.
Oh no, it's I think Ramy's is definitely, you know, Kai may talk about coming back, but
Kai put some like googly eyes on his answer, so he did respond to the thread.
Yeah, well, I don't know. His googly eyes is just a signage for a speech.
You never know.
In other words, he could write 10 paragraphs or just put the googly eyes. They're the same.
Kai should jump in the Arnold.
I'll talk about it, but I won't do it.
He should jump in the Arnold. That would be even more exciting, I think. If he did that. Less pressure on him too. But then again, he already won the Arnold, so I don't know if that's really going to prove anything. You know. mean, do you see any surprise people competing this year at the Olympia?
You mean like people who haven't qualified ever, and like here they are?
No, like people like they kind of maybe took a year off, or people we haven't seen. I mean, do you see anything like that? I don't think we're going to see anything different like that.
There'll be no surprises in terms of who shows up. You know.
Did you hear?
There may only be surprise. There may be surprises in terms of what people look like when they show up, who are scheduled to show up. But you know, the days that come back. You know, Jay did it once, and that's it. You know, history was made, and that's it. I don't think, you know.
Have you heard any rumors about Samson Dowda hurting his hamstring?
Yeah, I heard he tore it in like 5 places, and he's in the hospital. I didn't tell you. I'm just kidding. I didn't hear that.
No, I'm saying I heard. Yeah, someone told me that. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah,
I heard he pulled his hamstring. I didn't hear anything that was serious, but I heard he pulled the hamstring. I don't know if that's true or not.
Milos has hired an iceberg from Antarctica before there are no longer icebergs to put on that hamstring.
Oh, by the way, Xavier Wills, our good friend over in Australia, believes Martin Fitzwater, Carlos Thomas Jr., Rubio Mascara, and Quinton Aria thinks these guys could have big years. So he's chiming in on my question I asked you.
Yeah, those are pretty good predictions, you know.
Yeah. Someone wants a room tour of the hotel room. Xavier, I heard he tore a hamstring. I don't know. I heard from like one of my like pretty reliable sources too, but I don't know. I haven't confirmed it with him or anything like that, so I don't want to like spread rumors. But that's just what I heard. I don't know. You know, but you know what? I was playing. My son has this little basketball hoop that like suction cups to like the wall, and because he likes to want to dunk the basketball, and we have this little mini basketball. And we play in the living room, and he tries to slam the. You know, his big thing is he has to dunk. That's his like thing. And so he got me a little too riled up, and I went up for a dunk. And when I landed, my good leg, my left hamstring pulled. I felt a little pop. I'm like, I cannot believe I just popped the hamstring.
You got to call Nick Walker and see the protocol. That
playing Nerf basketball with my son in the living room. And you know what? No one believed me in the house. And after about a week and a half, all of a sudden, you know how sometimes when you tear like a hamstring or pop a hamstring that's real deep, it'll take like a week or two for the blood to come to the surface.
That's right.
And sure enough. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I mean, I was walking on it and everything, but I definitely popped something. It must have been a little tiny fiber or something like that, but it happens pretty easily. And so something like that could happen to Samson. And you know what? Sometimes those little hamstring pulls hurt like a bastard, and they will prevent you from training for a week or two, you know, but it feels usually worse than it is. Hamstrings heal pretty easily.
Yeah, they do heal fast, but they feel like they're never going to heal. It's not like when you twitch a shoulder or a bicep and you can do exercises around it. When you hurt a hamstring, there's nothing. You can't do a leg curl even with 20. It feels like it's going to explode and tear into a million pieces.
And you know what? You really have to just let it rest, because if you don't, you'll make it worse. And that's the worst thing you can do is go backwards. So in other words, what I recommend doing is leave it alone for like a day or two, and then start lightly stretching it. You know, just stretching. After about 4 or 5 days of stretching, you should be able to get some of that that motion back in it. And then I always tell people 7 days minimum to start doing some light hamstring curls. And that's only if it's not a serious tear. And that seemed to work fine for me. And you know what you have to do is if you do pop something and you start seeing blood come to the surface, you got to wear I put my pressure stocking, like a compression sock up to my knee. And I just wore that just to make sure that fluid doesn't go down into my lower leg. And I wore that for about a week. And so it was fine after that. But, you know, it happens more frequently than you think. I see it happen to a lot of bodybuilders in the gym, especially, you know what? The worst thing you can do is when you're training legs, if you allow yourself to get too dehydrated. I don't know if that ever happened to you, Chris. and then you do hamstrings like at the end of a leg workout, you can pop a hamstring just because you're dehydrated, sometimes.
No, Dave, I can't recall back 25 years when I used to train. Although I will say, when I was in Miami on my birthday, my son dragged me to the gym.
He did? Wow.
Yeah, it was the best birthday present because one, I love Miami too.
Oh, that's right. It was your birthday. Holy shit.
Yeah, on the 30th.
I forgot to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And so he dragged me to the gym and we did back.
You did back too?
Yeah, we did back. And Dave, I would just put on weights that I think I could do, and I'm like, oh, I can't even do that.
Now
we would. So I thought I'd be sore for I thought it'd be need to be hospitalized after the workout, and I just said, I'm gonna go with baby weights, and so 2 days later, the workout was, it felt good and felt tired and fatigued. And, of course, I slept well, which was great. That was the biggest benefit because I had to sleep. And then we did chest. And we did chest on the 1st. What's the date today?
The 7th.
7 days later, my chest is still killing. Dave, I have used 3 times a day, every single day, Isolyze.
Really?
Scoops.
Wow.
Yes, 2 scoops. And
you probably gained 10 pounds of muscle.
It's either fake, Dave, or I just can't recover, or I need trend like everyone else to recover because my pecs are destroyed.
The first time that you go back to the gym, it's like you've never trained a day in your life. It's like a crippling pain. It's only the first workout that's the second one is half as much pain, and then the third one it kind of starts getting better after that.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is I can tell him on different exercises because one asked me what works well. And I say, you know what? Because I did train at one time and I can do any exercise and tell you exactly where it works. I can feel everything exactly. Mm-hmm. I have no idea why, but I said, okay, Free, this does this exactly. But
you know why? Because you it's like riding a bicycle. You don't lose the nerve pathways that you've built up for years.
The nerve pathways border on genius, Dave. I'm telling you, with every exercise, I say this works exactly this way. This does exactly do it this way, that way. But the negative is I can't even move right now.
When I went back to the gym and was able to start training because I had my shoulders replaced and I was able to start doing free weight movements, it wasn't like I missed a beat. It was like I just went back and I had never stopped doing them because we did them for so many years repetitively over and over that we don't have to think about it to train. And I think when you get to that level where you don't have to think about it to keep the right form, to use the right muscles, to not cheat, that's when you make the best progress. And it takes a while to get to that point. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's why I tell people you have to practice makes perfect in everything, including bodybuilding.
Yeah. Well, as they say, perfect practice makes perfect. Right? Because people are practicing correctly.
Yeah. No, you're if you practice bad habits, you're gonna make it worse.
Dave, not a bodybuilding topic, but I told Jay this too the other day. Have you heard of this kid? Oh God, I forgot his first name now. He's a basketball phenom beyond phenoms. He's like a combination of Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, and he's from Maine.
That's the 6'11" guy?
6'9". He just moved down to Florida. In 8th grade, colleges were giving him full boats, full scholarships, like Duke. All the basketball colleges, St. John's, Syracuse.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He's the freak of freaks. He's like the Jay Cutler. Like Jay Cutler grew up in Spencer, Mass, and turned out to be, freak of freaks. This guy, something flag, turned out to be freak of freaks. 3-pointers, beyond 3-pointers.
Cooper Flag.
Yes, and he runs like he's 5'8", up and down the court, even though he's 6'9".
I thought he was 6'11" though.
6'9". He's got a twin brother. He's got a brother who's I think 6'11", a year older, a year younger, or maybe a twin.
Well, I'll pull up a picture of him. And so, where is he from? Your area?
No, well, he's from the boondocks of Maine. Like population, like the greater 50-mile radius is probably like 5,000 people.
He like the Sam Sulek of basketball.
Yeah, but except even better.
Yeah, except he's going to make a lot more money than Sam Sulek will.
He's going to make a lot more money than everyone.
And he's a good-looking kid too. He'll be definitely marketable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Let me put up a picture. This is the guy.
Cooper Flag, is that what you said? Yeah.
Cooper Flag, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 17.
Crazy, huh?
But you know how people with 6'9" can't get up and down the court?
Right.
You know,
He's
they
fast.
gallop.
Yep. Like he's coordinated, this guy.
Oh gosh. Athleticism, they call it athleticism. You know, coordinate, just a freak.
Yeah.
If he was a bodybuilder, they'd say he's not a natty.
He's pretty ripped, this kid. I mean, for being that tall.
He's got a good. That's what I mean. He doesn't have a lanky, skinny build at 6'9".
Boston Lloyd's not around. Boston would be able to tell if he's natty or not.
Yeah, Boston would say maybe. I don't know.
Oh, Sid said he's announcing a game with him in 2 weeks, going up against the team with Carmelo Anthony's son. So, pretty cool.
Oh, where? Oh, yeah. Tell Sid he's going to decimate Carmelo Anthony's son.
Because Sid's listening.
No, because he already had. They played one game against like somebody who was like the high school hype in the country, and it was like
Right.
it was like Kai versus somebody who got 18th place in the classic division.
Hey, he looks like he's like the guy they've been waiting for to market the NBA with, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this guy.
Yeah.
He's got the all-American look. You can put him on the cover of any magazine, any shoe ad. These people are gonna want to buy all his stuff. So, I love seeing new talent come out of the woodwork like that. It's nice because we're so used to seeing the same people over and over and over again. I mean, LeBron James, come on, he's been 20 years. We need someone new.
Yeah, he might be the next. Ask Sid. Is he the next LeBron? Yes or no?
He disappeared on us again. So, all right, what else do I want to show you? Oh, so I wanted to show you this picture. I wanted to get your opinion on what's his name, Derek Lunsford. There's a recent. I think this is a recent picture. What do you think of how he's looking in the off season now?
Better hair than the Olympia, if that's
correct. Right? Exactly.
No, he's got abs. He didn't have any abs at the Olympia.
What do you think's going on with his abs? Is it just a lack of dense abdominal musculature?
He has them there.
Well, because he's all full. He's carved up to the max here, and he's got a little bit of body fat cushioning too. I mean, why do you think his abs don't have that like blocky appearance? Is that a genetic thing, or you think he doesn't train them right, or what do you think?
It's probably genetics. It could be genetics, or it's this too. People see that shot right there. His abs look great.
Yeah.
To me, they look great. Sometimes people can never, especially who got big quick. But he hasn't gotten that. He got big fairly quick.
He grew pretty proportionally.
Yeah. You know what? When you put your hands over your head, you still can't contract them, if that makes sense.
Well, the reason I ask you that is because you know how some guys don't train abs because they think it's going to make their waist bigger, and what happens is they lose abdominal control and their abs don't look as good, even though the waist might be tight. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if he trains or not.
I tell people, good abs or bad abs, train abs every single day.
Right. That's what I tell people.
You have to be able to control your midsection for 3 reasons. 1, nobody can control theirs. So that's important. And then 2, if you work your abs all the time, you're probably not going to get a gut because you have control over that. And then 3, it may protect against getting a hernia, which the entire world has a hernia. Every single bodybuilder I know, I got a hernia.
Yeah, well, those umbilical hernias, Chris, are really due to the fact that we all have that weakness in that area because of the fact that, when you're born, there's a hole there and it closes up at birth, and some people's don't close as much. And even if it's open, even a pinhole, and then you start growing at an extraordinary rate and the abdominal cavity expands and you have a lot of food in there, a lot of times that thing will pop open. And that's really what causes those umbilical hernias.
It sounds like a roof leak, Dave.
It is. It's one of those things you can never
I'm
quite.
serious. We're spitting through, and then it's going to find its way, and at some point it's going to snow, and then the snow's going to melt, and it's going to expand and explode.
A lot of times you can't fix that either. You try to fix it and they pop open again. So
I know.
They try to put mesh on it. I have from when I got my heart surgery, I had 2 tubes right in, the upper part of my abdominal muscles through there, to drainage tubes. And when they pulled one out, I guess I got a hernia for that. I have a little round little thing that pops through, and I think it's getting bigger, which is, and I wasn't going to do anything about it, because like the last thing I need is another surgery, right? Yeah. And then I noticed, I said, I think it's getting bigger, which is now annoying the crap out of me. So now I'm like, well, maybe I should get it fixed, and it won't be that bad. So I don't know. It's annoying. As a bodybuilder, you don't want to see hernias on your abdominal wall.
Yeah.
It's very distracting, especially if you're competing. I'm not competing, so it doesn't really matter. But, what's his name? Rubio Mascara has that big hernia on his umbilicus, which I thought he was going to fix that before he competed again. But evidently, he's going to do the Arnold first. So I don't know if that's going to hurt him or not. But
well, it's not going to get smaller. So
what do you think of Hottie's latest updates here?
He looks incredible. Pecs.
Do you think he's got the best pecs in bodybuilding?
Yeah, I mean he's got the best. He's got the best strided full pecs. Usually when you do get strided pecs, they if they flatten out, his pecs are full and strided.
Most people in the off season don't have strided pecs, though, right? I always felt like that was like something to come in, like you really had to diet hard to get those cross-strided pecs to come in. I never saw anyone in the off season, big and full like he is, who have as many cross striations, which tells me that I think that it's a testament to how well developed his pecs are.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny
that his shoulders look better here than they do when he competes. Don't you think?
Yeah, they look better here.
They don't look jimmied up at all. They look big and full and round.
Yeah. Well, it could be because he's holding water and you don't see the.
Maybe. Yeah, that's possible. Yes.
I mean, a little water. Not holding water, but there's water everywhere.
He's pretty dry. I was gonna say he's pretty dry there, But I don't know. Let's see what else. What else did I want to bring up? So we lost another bodybuilder, unfortunately. It's almost like a bad. I don't even want to take anyone's text messages anymore, because I'm like, or phone calls. I'm like, what now? Who did we lose now? Did you know Matt McLaughlin?
I met him a couple times. He won the Teen Nationals, I think, before. What year? You would know, or before Jay.
It was 91, I think it was.
Yeah, I think he might have won it like the year before Jay won his class. And of course, he was from Boston or Mass, that greater area.
That's why I asked. Yeah, that's why I asked.
Jay informs me that he was living in Maine for a long time. So, I was surprised I wouldn't run into him in Cooper Flag, since the three of us are living here.
I remember seeing these pictures in the magazines when they came out.
Yeah,
I don't know if this was NPC News or if it was in like some other magazine, but I remember this picture. It almost looks like a little bit of a Grushkin picture because of the coloration, because Bob used to have those really colorful pictures like that.
He was, a teenager here? He won
92 NPC Teen Nationals. He won the middleweight overall. And then the year after that, he won the North American light heavyweight.
And then speaking of midsections, the midsection
blew his midsection out really bad, right?
He had a really good physique, really a lot of muscle maturity. Look at that's 19 years old, muscle maturity.
Yeah, crazy.
Really good back double with like crazy glutes and hams way back then.
Yep.
And then he won the North Americas the next year, which of course you don't have to win the overall to turn pro back then.
Back then, yeah.
And then I don't know what he kind of like. We didn't hear from him much for a long time, and his name would pop up. Because I'm in New England, like people would say, blah blah blah. What's Matt McLaughlin doing? He's one of those bodybuilders that you would have expected based on the way he looked here winning the teen nationals at 19 that he'd make an impact in the future.
Yeah.
He's kind
So-
of reminds funny, like, you know, I would think of him as like a Branch Warren type.
Yeah,
You know,
but someone said he looks like a cross between a Guy Cisternino and Mike Matarazzo. I think that's...
Yeah. He does look like a combo between those two.
Yeah.
But he was really good. And I did was it determined what he passed away from?
No one's reporting it. You know, unfortunately, so many people have died. It seems like when people usually die of like health issues, that usually gets reported. Accidents seem to get reported. It seems like when there's any kind of drugs involved, or if there's any kind of suicide issues, a lot of times that doesn't get reported. So I'm not saying that's what it is, but no one seems to be reporting. Maybe he just dropped and they're doing an autopsy and finding out. But it's just sad because he had to be around our age. I don't think he was much older.
Well,
than that.
I mean, if he won the teen nationals, what, 91?
92. So what would that make him? Like Jay's age, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, 50.
Yeah. How many people are we going to lose already? This is crazy.
It seems like towards the end of the year, too. It always.
Well, I think the holidays are something that you usually, that's a lot of times you lose people around the holidays. Sometimes the people get depressed and stuff like that. But I just got back from dinner. I came back from dinner and I rushed right here. I was having dinner with my friend Donna Sterling, who I worked with her back in the 90s, and then she had triplets, and then she came back, and then she now she's competing again. She got a pro card, at like in her 50s, and she's competing again. That's her right there. And her daughter, is one of the triplets, is the second or third from the right. I do her diet now. She won she won her class or something like that at a show. And there's my sister and her husband on the right there. That's Joe, Donna's boyfriend, in the middle there.
Your shoulders and arms and forearms looks like you're on fire. It looks like you're TRT from 3 years doctor.
I look like I'm on a full-blown cycle. Is what it looks like.
You look like you're doing the Michael Jackson approach.
All weekend.
The Michael Jackson approach is when you go to your doctor, and then you go to the next doctor on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to get that one prescription.
I looked at my face and I said, "Holy shit!" But you know what? First of all, it's the end of the day, and I was a little bloated. But I haven't stopped eating. Since I've been here, I worked out this morning just because I felt so bloated. But I've been going out to eat with my sister like every meal of the day, and we've been eating all kinds of crazy stuff. And my body, when I start putting food into it, especially junky food, I get a little bloated, but I start growing from it. And so I'm probably holding 10 pounds of water, but whatever. I guess it looks good. Whatever. If you like big and bloated. Look, I had cheesecake, Chris. You know me. I never eat sweets.
Oh yeah, you never ever.
Yeah. So I had a little cheesecake.
Well, you're whooping it up.
Yeah.
Whipping it up. Whatever it's called. You're on vacation, Dave. You are on.
I know.
This looks like a vacation.
Ari, Shayla, Logan. That's my. There's snow. I got to see snow. My kids were dying to see snow, and they're like, "Dad, if it snows," I said, "I don't think it's going to snow. If it snows, you got to take video pictures." So I made a snowball. It's snowing here in New York. Look, hold on. I'm going to make a snowball.
God.
Look, it's a snowball. You guys have never seen one. It's snowing. So that was my.
It was so fun until it's not snow.
Yeah, it was fun for 10 seconds. Then Chris, when I got into the car to drive back to my hotel, my hands were frozen from making that snowball.
Listen, Dave. Yesterday, my 4-year-old said, "Let's go for a walk." Thinking we're just in Miami, so I said, we got to put on jackets and socks and this and that. We made it like 40 yards up the street. And both of us turned back. It was just too cold.
When I got off the plane, Chris, on a Thursday night, it was so cold. It was 28 degrees, and I brought a leather jacket, and I don't think I had my sweatshirt on though too. And I walked outside because I had to go get the rent-a-car. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and it was dark because it was like White Plains Airport, which is a small airport, but
White Plains.
It's not all lit up yet. And I took that first breath of that cold air. And I almost lost my breath. I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe how cold it is." I said, I said, I can't believe I used to wear shorts in this weather.
Dave, I was just going to say, you're the guy who used to run around in a tank top and shorts in February.
I get to the hotel, and he's like, I can upgrade you to a bigger room if you want for, no charge. I said, yeah, sure. So I get up to the room, and they didn't have the heat on in the room. Like, it was like I guess there was no one in the room, so they just weren't running the heat. So it took 2 hours for the room to heat up.
Oh my
I was in my coat and sweatshirt, shivering like I was outside in the wilderness by a campfire. I was sitting by the
if that was one of my Airbnbs, they would have called up and Airbnb would have said, "Oh, you got to give it to him for free."
That's right. So I did that. But you know what? The guy warned me at the front desk. He goes, the big rooms take longer to warm up. So I'm thinking, well, it can't be. It wouldn't be as cold as outside. I figured, it might be a little chilly. I don't care. I don't need it that hot. Little did I realize that it was actually there was no heat on the room. But other than that, it was pretty good. So anyway, so today I went to the gym in the morning, and I actually had the audacity. I said I can't go to the gym with pants on. I didn't bring sweatpants. I only had like jeans. So I said, fuck it. I put on my shorts and with my sweatshirt, my leather jacket. I went outside and I went to the gym. It was great. Like the good old days in shorts. Yeah. All good. I actually got what did you want to talk? You said you had something to talk about.
I told you the Arnold running for president.
Oh yeah. Arnold can't run for president, Chris.
Yeah, I actually stole the idea it was in USA Today that they should allow him to run for president.
They should, really. I mean,
they said their point was that it's an antiquated constitutional rule that you have to be born in the country.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been living here for 20 years, and you're a citizen, I don't see why there should be any kind of law against, running for president. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Trump would say that Obama never wasn't born here, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. And so, the point.
He might be right, probably not.
Well, the point was in USA Today is nobody's going to hold there's a constitutional blah 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 amendment that if you facilitated an insurrection or something like that, then you shouldn't be allowed to run for president, which is why Trump has been pulled off the ballot in 2 states.
Yeah. The problem is he never was.
Of course, at the end of the day, he's going to be on the ballot because the Supreme Court is going to, rule that he's going to be on the ballot. So why not, consider Arnold to run?
I
he
agree.
would run if they.
You think at this point in his life that he'd still?
Oh, of course, he's already expressed the desire to run. Dan Solomon said he'd be the campaign manager, but
that would be a good campaign manager, actually.
Huh?
Dan would be a good campaign manager, actually. So I went to my friend's clinic. He has a rejuvenation. Not really. It's like a spa, like a day spa where they do IVs of vitamins, and they do called Golden Aesthetics up in Newtown. You know where Newtown, Connecticut is?
Oh yeah. No, someone was just telling me about Golden. Maybe it was you who told me about Golden Aesthetics.
It's right outside of Danbury. It's kind of nice. And James Minoy, and he built this thing, and I went up there to visit him and my sister, and we did all his little spa treatments. And do you know who the guy all the way on the left is?
Who? Hold on.
What?
Who is that on the left?
Christian Palmer. He placed 4th in the light heavyweight class at nationals this year.
No, I don't know.
I just ran into him up there. Nice guy, really nice guy. He'll be a pro next year. You mark my words.
I'll mark them. Which words am I marking? I always mark your words, Dave. I mark your words until you're always right, with the exception of I think I told you you're wrong once. I can't remember what it was.
Well, a couple times I'm wrong. So anyway, so we went up there, and so my sister was the one who didn't want to go at first, and then she wound up becoming best friends with them, and she had all the treatments. They have the micro needling of your face, which is supposed to restore collagen, synthesis in your face. She had the laser resurfacing. She did She did the IV bag. I did the IV of vitamins, and then they'll give you like a push into your vein of like glutathione. And I did, I haven't done Botox, Chris, in years, probably 10 years, for my wrinkles on my head. And I was going to do it because he wanted to do something for me and film it. And I said, the Botox never lasts in my body because I have a very fast metabolism. It's supposed to last like 3-4 months. It lasts like 3 weeks in my body. So it's almost like not worth getting it, but they have something new called Daxxify, Daxxify. Now, Daxxify is like a derivative of the botulism toxin, but it also has some peptides in it that supposedly make it the onset of action quicker and make it last up to 6 months. So I had them. I'll put up video this week probably when I edit the video, but I had them do around my. Now I don't know if you noticed. Have you noticed as you got hit 50, you're around your eyes, you get a little bit of wrinkles?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got the wrinkles too. Yeah, you got wrinkles. Let me zoom in on you. Yeah, you got some wrinkles. A little bit of you got the wrinkles, crow's feet, and then on the head, you get a little wrinkle. So I had him do my head. I had him do like up here.
I embrace aging, Dave, and I'm not afraid
around my eyes. But I around my eyes, it's already they're almost gone. They gone already. It's weird. I had a little bit of a crease here, and it already fixed it. So
well, how'd they fix them? With what?
So they put they inject this Daxxify around it. It's supposed to take 2 weeks to kick in, but mine's already working a little bit. All these wrinkles will be gone, Chris. And probably
how long would they be gone for?
Now they say that this normally lasts up to 6 months, and I told you because Botox doesn't last me. So even if I get 3 months out of it, half as much because of my metabolism, that would be a much better, solution than Botox. So I'm trying it out. I gotta try out these anti-aging treatments, see if they work, before I recommend them to everyone else, No, I didn't get my eyebrows microbladed. No, I was too scared. My sister does that microblading. I don't even know what it entails, but I'll tell you something. The microneedling is an interesting therapy, and I'll tell you why. Because what it does is it's like this little round disc that goes into your face, and these little needles go into your skin, and they can do your cheeks, your mouth. I didn't get this done, but my sister did, in the neck. And then what they'll do is they'll do a laser, and they'll resurface a laser. And just doing that little micro damage, it's almost like working out for your muscles. You're doing micro damage to the tissue, the skin here, the collagen, and it makes the collagen grow back stronger and faster. So it tightens. It's like giving yourself a facelift almost. You got to do 3 treatments every 4 months, and I've seen some before and afters. It's pretty amazing what it can do. So like if you're noticing maybe some looseness around your mouth, if you're especially women, they don't like it, or even if you get that that some people get that little chicken neck going on, Chris.
Yeah,
you see the chicken neck, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You have a chicken neck, it'll fix that too. So ask for micro needling. And if you're in the near the Newtown area in Connecticut, you could stop over at James Manoyan's place and tell him I sent you. And they have a very expensive machine there that he bought. He bought the most expensive stuff. He's got really good stuff there. And I highly suggest you go visit him. Very nice guy. He actually took me out for sushi. And did I tell you my sister does psychic readings, Chris?
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, I had never seen her in action. I know she's got a talent for it, but I've never seen her like going full bore. So she was like talking to them at the restaurant. We were at the sushi restaurant. Everyone had left the restaurant, and it was just us there. And I think all the Japanese people were listening in because my sister just starts going off and giving them a reading. Like someone, I guess their grandmother came through to my sister, and she's like, did you lose a grandma recently? And they're like, oh, yeah. How do you know? So my sister knew nothing about them. And then she's like telling them all this stuff, and she was rattling off one thing after the other, and it was crazy. They were like, they liked it, but they were like shocked because my sister knew stuff that they had never told her, and it was pretty funny.
We need her, Dave, on the last minute Arnold prediction show. Give us some
right.
insight.
Hey, Nicole, can you give me the top 10 for the Arnold? Yeah, exactly.
She wouldn't know the
So
names, so she could describe the physiques.
So it was a fun, weekend.
I'm seeing delts that look a little funny. Who would that be? I'm seeing delts with a. That'd be Hottie.
Here's Chris, I'll show you Christian Palmer. This is a little bit of a close-up. He's got good muscle on him, Chris. I'm telling you, he's going to be good. This guy. He's just getting started. He's going to be dangerous next year. Watch out for him.
I think your arms are almost as good as his, and he's definitely not on
it's all about the angles, Chris. It's all about the angles.
Yeah.
So that was this past weekend. I had fun. I actually went. Oh, let me see. I didn't show you my. Did I show you? I didn't show you my cousins. Hold on. So on Saturday night, I went out to eat with my cousins and my Aunt Patty. You know, my Aunt Patty used to take care of my dad.
Yeah.
And we went to this Italian restaurant. You know, now Chris, you've eaten with me and you've gone out with me. You know, I'm very loud, right? You know,
yeah, very loud, and I could imagine when you order from you. Dave eats the same thing no matter.
No, forget that. But you know, I'm just loud in general when I talk and I do my shtick. I was probably only the fourth loudest person in this group, Chris, because my relatives are much louder than me, especially when they got a few drinks in them.
I'm surprised they didn't kick you out.
That's my cousin Lisa in the front, and her husband behind her, and my Aunt Patty's in the middle in the back. So it was a good time.
So was this what was the main purpose of the trip?
It was I hadn't seen my sister in a while, so I wanted to go see her, and I hadn't been to New York, and so it was I didn't want to go during the holidays because the kids whatever. So I said I'll go after the holidays, and I'll just make it I wanted to see my cousins, so I was going to go to see my sister, and then I said what, if I can squeeze these other things in, like I said, I try to squeeze in as many extra things as I possibly could. So I got to see Donna, and I got to see her daughter, and I got to see James's place, the Golden Aesthetics, because he had told me he built that whole place himself by hand while he was preparing for a show. It was crazy. And he also breeds tropical fish. If you would see these fish he breeds, he's like a Dave Palumbo times 10. He's a very talented young man. So and good bodybuilder.
Isn't it a different vibe up there compared to where you are?
Yeah, 100%. He trains at the Montanari Brothers gym in New Haven, and he drives to Newtown, which is an hour away every single day. For the spa up there. So he's a go-getter. I like people. He reminds me of like a young Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
All these businesses.
How old is he?
28. So
I see you wearing an AC/DC shirt.
Men Back in Black. I was going to actually go see Dr. Blau too, but he was supposed to come to lunch today. And it was snowing up here, so he's Dr. Blau's like, it was a little bit of a hike for him. So I said, what, stay home. I don't want to get in an accident, on my behalf. And we talked on the phone for about an hour. So he's still doing the gynecomastia surgery. As a matter of fact, Christian Palmer, who I just showed you, that kid, Dr. Blau did his gynecomastia, and he did a great job because I saw the before and afters. They were phenomenal. And so if anyone in that area, that tri-state area, it still, needs gynecomastia, Dr. Blau is still going strong, man, and doing a great job. He's the number one gynecomastia guy. I see so many kids in the gym with gynecomastia these days. I don't even know what you think. Is it from, too much? You think there's too much estrogen in the foods we're eating, or do you think that kids are just taking gear too early?
I think the world is inflamed with estrogen.
I think it's a combination. I think you're right.
In the plastics and in the chemicals and the sprays and in the food, in whatever goes into the soil so that apples can look perfectly beautiful the minute they come off the tree and last longer. All of it.
Yeah. Well, all the plastics and everything, and all the phytoestrogens and everything. It's possible.
Kid, listen. Almost everyone drinks when you're a kid milk from a plastic container, and I know when I was growing up, it came in a bottle. And Cumberland Farms. So they still have Cumberland Farms was the first company to make milk in a plastic jug, and that milk you could taste the estrogen. I'm dead serious. You could taste the chemicals.
I don't like the
gallon
other
of
way.
milk, a gallon of milk costs what in plastic as opposed to the bottle costs like half. So people used to go to they started going to Cumberland Farms to buy milk. That's how, and that's how people. That's how Cumberland Farms got people. Cumberland Farms, like they're a farm somewhere. That's how they got people through the door to be able to. They would sell milk at like no profit, and they put it in plastic containers to lower the price even more. And then they would get people to come through the door and buy all kinds of other stuff.
What did you have to do with the milk bottles? You remember with the milk bottles?
Well, the milk bottles, you put them back in the container, and the milkman would come get them.
That's right. People don't realize you didn't throw those out; they were recycled. Those milk.
We had the milkman deliver the milk right to my house.
Yeah, me too. We all did.
Even after the milkman started to be like squeezed out due to grocery stores, the milk came in cardboard containers.
Right. Well, yeah, but why did our parents not get the milk at the supermarket? Why did we have the milkman who delivered it?
Because that was
What
the
was
system.
the reason for that?
I don't know. That was the milkman.
Because I think it had to be a lot more work to have the milkman go to every single person's house and deliver the milk bottles,
the milkman, Ocas Dairy in Portland, Maine used to come every day down my street.
Yeah.
And you'd have like this little cooler on your back porch, and he would take the empty bottles and whatever, you'd have a delivery like a newspaper.
Did I ever tell you that, Carl Lenore, I was talking to him one day on his Superhuman radio show, and he convinced me that unpasteurized milk, the milk that comes right from the cows, raw milk, they call it, raw milk that I would be able to digest it, that even though I'm lactose intolerant, raw milk has enzymes and they break down the lactose. And he's like, you got to try it. He gave me this contact. This was maybe 10 years ago. And I said, all right, I'll try it. So I got the number. I called up. I said, I would like to order some raw milk. They're like, all right, we do deliveries in your area. I couldn't believe that they actually did deliveries in Seaford. He's like, we do deliveries in your area on like Mondays and Fridays. I said, well, you know what? Let's do one day a week. I said, give me a delivery. Bring me a gallon or two. Bring me like 2.5 gallons on Monday. So fine. So I paid whatever it was, and they delivered it. They delivered the milk. It came. I brought it in, and I was so excited to try it. He's like, you're gonna love it, because I like the taste of milk. I just can't drink it because of the lactose. So I pour this glass of milk into this glass, and I'm about to drink it, and I smell it, and it smelled so funky, not spoiled, but it had that it smelled like it just came out of the
it did.
Yeah, it had this wild aroma that it just was very funky. But I'm like, all right, you know what? I can deal with the smell. Let me just try it. And I drank it, and it tasted a little different than the milk you get in the store. And sure enough, an hour later, I was pooping my brains out in the bathroom. So it didn't help. And the smell was bad enough that it wasn't even worth drinking it. So but I tried. All right. What else do I want to talk about today? We talked about Ramy. Let's get back to Ramy for a minute. So if Ramy competes, and let's say you're advising Ramy at this point, where do you tell Ramy to compete? Where does he go? What would you recommend? Does he wait to just go to the Olympia, or does he try to do another show?
No, Olympia.
Can't do any other show, right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Olympia, it's useless to do another show. Period.
Right, because at that point, he's beyond that, right?
Well, it's like saying Michael Jackson's making a comeback. Where's he gonna play? Should he play Lewiston, Maine, where I live, or should he play Long Island Coliseum, or rather Madison Square Garden?
Can he win the Olympia again, or do you think he's past his prime?
It depends on the way he looks. It depends on the way he looks. Simple as that. And it depends on the way other people look.
Well, let's say Ramy. I mean, is Rami's best now good enough to win the Olympia? I guess that's my question to you.
Well, a great Rami package does this on stage. It makes the guys who got first and second look small. That's just a fact. In terms of width, in terms of freak factor, that is a fact. But that's only one facet of the show, size. But I'm just saying it can, Rami's always going to look different than Derek and Hadi, which means look bigger. He's going to look clearly he's wider, right? Clearly his legs are if you're the widest guy on stage and your legs are, the biggest legs on stage, just remove detail for a minute, but just talk about width and size. You're in the running.
Would you, if Rami called you, would you work with him?
Yeah. Yeah, I love him.
You still have a good relationship with him, then?
Yeah, he's the best.
Okay. Let me see.
He's the best. Who doesn't have a good relationship with him?
I don't know. He probably doesn't like me. I don't know.
Huh?
He probably. I see George Farris commenting on his thread there. He writes, "Guess which show I was prepping for." Oh, this is an old video. Okay. I thought this was new. He looks pretty big here. If he looked like this, he'd do very well, probably.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah. I just don't know if he can get back to that, Chris. That's
Guru. Eli says, "Brother, contact me." Did you see that?
What happened? What did it say?
This is the.
Oh yeah. I see. Yeah. Guru,
I will help you. I will help you. That's oh God.
Everyone's gonna.
With what? Contact you for what?
Everyone's saving Rami. I don't know.
For what? I would like to know what that even means.
I hear that Rami's going into a career of pool. He's going to be a pool shark. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's evidently been taking lessons, and he's going to be like Robert Paul Newman in The Hustler. Remember the movie?
Yeah. Remember that Budweiser or that commercial when you're a kid with the pool shark?
Yes, I liked it.
It took them like 100 takes to get that shot.
Oh, they did.
yeah. It was the world's greatest trick shotter in pool. It was a really famous commercial, but regardless,
I remember the commercial. Yeah,
it took him like 100 times to get the shot down.
Oh, would you see like the making of the commercial or something like that?
Yeah. He missed his peak 99 times, in other words.
Every year we speculate who's going to come back, who's going to not come back, who's going to look good this year, who's not going to look good. I think we're lucky in the sense that I think the Arnold Classic is going to be a great show this year. We're going to have some really good competition. And I think at the end of the day, when the Arnold final placings are announced, it's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know if it's going to be a Samson win or a Hadi win or, Andrew Jack win. Is Andrew still? I heard Andrew's confirmed now for the show. Is that true?
Yeah, he's for the show. Yeah.
What is he weighing?
149. No, 146. 146.
Oh, kilos.
149. I don't know.
Kilos or what?
Kilos.
What is that?
140.
What does that equal? You sure? 140?
Yeah, 146.
That sounds like a lot, Chris.
Oh, 149. It is a lot.
That's 321. Holy shit.
Is it 321? Yeah.
That is 321. Yeah. That's a lot of weight. That's pretty good. That means he must have added some serious size.
But we'll see.
Yeah, because no one's really talking about him, and I think that he can be one of the most dangerous guys in this lineup,
Yeah. Agreed.
Because he's quiet, and no one. It's always the quiet guys you got to be watching out for. The guys that are putting up too many pictures, sometimes you don't have to be. They're not as dangerous as the other guys,
Yeah. Well, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to make a lot of noise to make a lot of noise. Yeah,
I really like Andrew too. I think he's going to do real well. So now that the season's underway, IRONMAG Labs will be sponsoring all our coverage of the Arnold Classic 2024. All that good stuff will start up probably the last week in January, first week in February. We'll start our iron debates. We'll start handicapping the show and evaluating what's going on. Hopefully, Samson only did just pulled a little hamstring, nothing serious. But I saw, I think someone just mentioned also in the thread. I heard that Samson was like 340. I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah, it's too heavy.
It seems like very heavy, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know what, Chris? I can only give my personal. When I was that big, when I got over 300, like I think the heaviest I got to was.
I know exactly what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it.
It was 25 pounds of water. Even though I was lean, it was still 25 pounds of water. So when I started dieting, after 2 weeks, I'm 295.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I knew you were going to say.
Yeah, because what the bigger you get, the more water you hold. It's just
Yeah, of course. It's like a swimming pool. If you have a swimming pool like Caesar's Palace, right? The bigger you are, the more water you can hold. It's someone who's 154 and they're holding water. They're up to 161. So there's 9 pounds. Someone twice as big, easy. There you go. You just did the math. 25 pounds, 22 pounds.
That's why Ramy, I think, got so big too, because he would hold a lot of water at over when he got over 330. It was mostly water, I think, at that point.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it feels terrible when you walk around. I hated how bloated. When I was that bloated, it was very uncomfortable because it's not functional. It's not functional.
The amount of work it takes. It's 10 times more exhausting to walk around at 320 than it is at 165.
True. I have said this before. I couldn't wait to get home at night and go to sleep because I wanted to get off my feet. It was so exhausting. It's true. I'm being honest. Literally.
No, I know. Get off your feet. It's because it's work to be on your feet.
When I would have to tie my shoes, I would have to lean over and blow out all my air, Chris, so that I can vacuum my stomach in as much as possible, so I can reach my shoelaces. That's how big I was.
You know what, Dave? You should have just went with Florida flip flops. So I don't think they had invented Crocs at that point.
No.
Otherwise,
you know me. I had huge feet, and I needed orthotics to support my feet because I have no arch, so I couldn't even walk around barefoot. When I would walk barefoot backstage at these shows, Chris, like when you're walking, oh my. Like the bottom of my feet were killing me because I had no fat on my body, and I have super flat feet. And that I was thinking about this the other day. I think walking backstage at these shows barefoot is probably the most disgusting thing you could possibly do. There's so much gross shit on the floor, right? In the pump up room, on the stage, backstage. When you would get back to your hotel room and take a shower, the level of dirt that would come off your feet was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, but this,
Greg Valentino says your hair looks good today, Chris.
Oh, I got Greg. I have to go to. It's so funny you say that. Thank you, Greg. In Miami, I had to go to a professional barber rather than Walmart.
Wow, really? Wow.
So now I'm gonna have to go back to Miami to get the haircut.
How much did the haircut cost?
It was $42.
Wow.
And it was the guy had 40 years experience.
Really?
So,
wow. Did a good job.
It feels great too. It's
nice when you have hair.
All I need, Greg, is a little of that therapy that Dave has for the crow's feet, and then I can go out with you partying. And
yeah, you have a good head of hair, Chris. So
Greg, the problem with Arnold running is Greg Valentino. Trump will run that.
Greg might be as big as
if Trump runs for. If Arnold ran for president, they would do that outcut from that movie where Greg Valentino says, "And where's Arnold in all this?" when he's eating the steak, right?
Right. From Biggest, Stronger, Fast.
And Trump would bring Valentino up on stage, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
Showmanship of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg would have a speaking part and get the chance to speak to the,
You're right. Speaking of haircuts, I might have told the story before. I'm sure I probably did, but Tanya Knight, the late Tanya Knight, may she rest in peace. She was married to one of the Poteet brothers, who I think were the heirs to the DuPont fortune.
Dave, I besides the Petit brothers were like Mike O'Hearn. I
Yeah.
did the first diet for Mike O'Hearn on behalf of who's the owner of Gold's Gym?
Oh, Ed Connors.
Ed Connors. Ed Connors introduced me to Mike O'Hearn. I think Mike was like 19 when he could bench press like 500. So people think, you know, it was a
doing
freak
it.
at 19.
Yeah.
And he lived in his car. And
Michael Hearn lived in his car?
Yeah, Michael Hearn was living in his car at Gold's for a little bit. Yep.
I didn't know that.
And Dave, the inside of Mike's car, the inside, every inch of it he put like pictures of Arnold up all through the inside of the car.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And the Petit brothers were introduced to me by Ed Connors, and they were the heir to the Dow fortune.
Oh, Dow for I thought it was DuPont. Okay.
DuPont.
Oh,
Dow
DuPont.
Chemicals, I think, bought DuPont, but I made
okay.
DuPont fortune. Yes. So do you know that? Do you know that Kanye West song "Gold Digger"?
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of would have applied. I mean, there's no worse place or better place to be than LA when your grandfather is a billionaire and you look like Mike O'Hearn and your brother's a twin and you drive Ferraris and you know you're in great shape. So I did diets for them when they first came down.
So what did you charge those guys?
It was free because my deal with Ed was I get the office space and I get the phone and I got a secretary and I get the parking spot in exchange for whenever somebody came to town,
right?
You know, and they wanted like a nutrition consultation or a diet or something like that. That he'd send it my way, which my office was right next to his.
Speak. Greg's reminding me that he was talking my ear off. Greg texted me, and I for some reason I think it was Saturday morning or Friday or Saturday morning. I woke up really early, and at 6:30, I don't know, I couldn't fall back asleep, and I said Greg had texted me, so I texted him back, and he's like, "Oh, can I call you?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so. I wasn't sleeping anyway." So Greg calls me. We're on the phone for like an hour talking. Great conversation, whatever. Greg's a great guy. You know, I love Greg. And I said to Greg as a joke, but I kind of knew what the answer was. I said, "Greg, tell me, you haven't gone to sleep yet, have you?" He's like, "How'd you know?" He hadn't gone to bed. So we talked from 6:30 to 8, and then he was going to go to sleep when we hung up the phone. He had just gotten back to the gym at like 6 in the morning. He goes to the gym in the middle of the night, and then he goes to bed. He doesn't go to sleep till 8 in the morning, you know.
So what do I interrupt you on Potets?
Oh, so getting back 2 hours. Yeah. We were on, I think we're almost 2 hours we talked about. So anyway, so Tanya Knight, because I was friends with her, when she was married to the Petit brothers, when she got divorced, she had some kind of like, you know, alimony for a little while. He was paying her. So she used to remember that. What was it? Maybe you can remember. I can't remember the name. What was the name of that hair cutting place that was right next door to the Marina Pacific Hotel? Do you remember what it was? Anyone know in the comments? Greg Valentino. What was the name of that hair cutting place that was next to the Marina Pacific Hotel in Venice there? Anyway, everyone used to get their haircut. A lot of people got their haircut. I actually got a haircut there once just because I was in town, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like a cool place." So she loved that place. So when she moved back to Missouri or wherever she was, I think it was Missouri she was from, and she was living there, and she was married to the wrestler, that guy Steve. I forget what his last name was. And he had brought me in for guest posing. That's when I met Tanya there. And Tanya would fly back to California to get her haircut because she liked that place in Venice. So she would fly there to get her haircut. And she was still getting a ton of money from one of the Petit brothers she was married to. So, Chris, you're going to have to fly to Miami every time you want to get your haircut.
Yeah. I'm going to $42. I don't know if I can afford it after I'm used to paying like $9 at Walmart.
It's a good excuse to go to Miami, right? That's the hot.
Yeah.
I hear Miami's the new New York City. Is that true?
I've been saying it for years. All the financial stuff, you know. Yeah, I mean, there'll never be a replacement for New York City, but a lot of Wall Street firms are moving down there because of the taxes.
Yep, and I heard a lot of California firms are moving out there too.
A lot of California, a lot of Wall Street, a lot of New York, Chicago.
Florida is going to be
Ken Griffin. Ken Griffin is who owns the most expensive condo ever paid for New York City. I think he has the first and the second. He moved his office from Chicago to Miami and West Palm.
Tell you, I think Florida is going to be the new place to be. No one wants to live.
I didn't go anywhere because of the traffic. The traffic was.
I won't go anywhere near it. Yeah.
Insane compared to, let's say, 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Would you guys rent a car when you're there, or what do you do?
Yeah, we have to rent a minivan to get everyone around.
Oh, yeah, but you have your own parking spot, so that's fine in the building. It doesn't matter.
I was gonna rent a Rolls or take my old Mercedes, drive that.
Did you? Hold on. Are you been staying in the new condo, or you were staying in the?
I stayed in the new condo to give it a test drive.
And how was it? Were you happy?
Unbelievable.
Now, did you redo that at all, or didn't need it?
No, I haven't done a thing to it. I haven't done anything to it. It needs, it's nice. It's very nice. If I, for my, if I wanted to do it the way I wanted to do it, I like drop dead nice. It's just that I don't have the time to do it. You know what I mean? And I don't.
Have you been renting it? I mean,
it's been rented like crazy because it's in a hotel condo.
No, I know it's beautiful. That building there is beautiful. So I didn't know if you were renting it consistently.
As Trump would say, Dave, show the people. You can show the people. And he twigs. Some say it's the best in Miami, but Dave, you want to laugh? You want to laugh? How much do you think? How much do you think the Four Seasons in Surfside, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, was going for late December a night?
500.
$7,000.
What?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
And guess who was
there? Hotel rooms.
I know you can't guess, but Kanye West was there all of October, all of November, all of December.
It's a lot of money. Do you get the monthly rate when you stay that long, or no?
I don't know, but they don't want him coming back. And I just found out he was there. Like the last day I found out he was there, and I can walk to the Four Seasons like 20 seconds.
Yeah. You're right down the block.
If my son knew that Kanye West was there, it's an impossibility that they wouldn't have met, because I know he would have gone to the lobby every day and staked the place out. Like if you're a bodybuilder and Arnold was staying at the Four Seasons and Arnold was in his prime. Look, Phil Heath was Jay was at the Four Seasons, or who's Mr. Olympia?
Well, let me ask you this question: why does your son love Kanye so much?
I mean, you don't like him that much, but he just, like a lot of people who are that age group, they love Kanye because he's a musical genius, and he's nutty, but he's a lot of people who are nutty are remarkably intelligent, because there's a fine line between crazy and brilliant.
and genius.
Yeah, there is. And how many geniuses, Dave, have you met? Seriously, if you've ever met a genius, sometimes they can't even make the damn coffee in the morning. They're so too stupid. But
the guy who did my shoulder replacements is a genius.
But they can, replace shoulders. Have 5 martinis and still go in and replace your shoulders like it's nothing. So they're attracted to his, his brain, his thoughts, his talent, So he was there for October, November, December. So I checked the room rate, and it was 7,000. I had screenshotted that too. I was going to send it to you.
Should have, yeah. Well, I think like I said, I think we're going to have a really good bodybuilding season this year. I'm looking forward to the Arnold. Like I said, as we get close to the end of the month, we'll start doing our Arnold predictions and Arnold interviews and pregame shows and Iron debates, all sponsored by IRONMAG Labs. For now, we're out of time. I have an early morning flight tomorrow morning. Chris, thanks for joining us. Greg, thanks for being in the comments. Xavier Wills as well, giving your comments. And as we say every week here at Heavy Muscle Radio, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
the truth hurts.
Sure does. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for joining us live.